If you've got old paper money tucked away somewhere, you might be sitting on more value than you think. That $20 bill from 1928 with silver certificate printed on it? It could be worth hundreds, or it might be worth exactly $20. The difference comes down to knowing what you're looking at. I'm going to show you exactly how to tell the difference, what these silver certificate dollars are really worth in today's market, and whether holding on to them makes sense for your retirement strategy. Welcome to Rich Dad Retirement. I'm here to help you make smart decisions about your money as you plan for and live through retirement. Today we're diving deep into silver certificate dollars, what they are, what they're worth, and most importantly, what you should do with them if you have them. We'll cover how to identify genuine silver certificates, understand their current market values, spot the rare ones that could be worth serious money, and decide whether they belong in your retirement portfolio or if you'd be better off selling them and putting that money elsewhere. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do with any silver certificates you might have. Let's start with the basics. A silver certificate dollar is paper currency that was issued by the United States government from 1878 to 1964. These weren't just regular paper money. They were backed by actual silver held in the U.S. Treasury. When you held a silver certificate, you literally owned a piece of paper that entitled you to exchange it for real silver on demand. The certificate would say something like, "This certifies that there is on deposit in the Treasury of the United States of America one silver dollar payable to the bearer on demand." That's a promise the government made and kept for nearly a century. The last silver certificates were printed in 1957, but they remained redeemable for silver until 1968. After that, they became collectible items rather than instruments you could exchange for precious metal. Here's what's important for you as a retiree. These certificates represent a fascinating piece of American monetary history when our currency was actually backed by precious metals, not just government promises. Now, let's talk about what your silver certificate dollars are actually worth today. This is where it gets interesting, and where many people get confused. The value depends on several factors: the series year, the denomination, the condition, and most importantly, how rare that particular certificate is. For common silver certificates, and I'm talking about the ones most people have, you're looking at face value to maybe 25% above face value. A common $1 silver certificate from 1957 in average condition? It's worth about $1.25 to $1.50. That $20 certificate from 1928? Maybe $25 to $30 if it's in decent shape. But here's where it gets exciting for collectors and potentially profitable for you. Certain series and denominations can be worth significantly more. A 1896 $1 silver certificate, known as the Educational Series, can sell for $500 to $1,000 even in average condition. A 1899 $1 Black Eagle certificate might fetch $100 to $300. And if you happen to have a 1928 $500 silver certificate, which almost nobody does, you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars. Here's how to identify what you actually have. First, look for the words "Silver Certificate" prominently displayed on the bill. This will usually be at the top center of the note. Next, check the series date. This is crucial for determining value. You'll find this information near the photograph or portrait on the bill. The series tells you not just when it was designed, but often indicates rarity. For $1 bills, look for these key series: 1886, 1891, 1896, the Educational Series, 1899, Black Eagle, and in 1923. These are generally worth more than the later common series from 1934, 1935, and 1957. For larger denominations, anything before 1928 is typically more valuable. Pay special attention to the signatures at the bottom of the certificate. Different combinations of Treasury officials' signatures can affect value. The serial numbers matter too. Look for low serial numbers, under 100, high serial numbers, ending in multiple zeros, or what collectors call fancy numbers with repeating digits. Condition is absolutely critical when it comes to value. Professional graders use a scale that ranges from poor, P1, to gem uncirculated, CU 65. The difference in value between grades can be dramatic. Take a 1899 $1 Black Eagle certificate. In poor condition, it might sell for $75. That same certificate in very fine condition could bring $200. In uncirculated condition, you're looking at $500 or more. Here's what to look for when assessing condition. Crisp, clean paper with no tears, holes, or missing pieces. Original color with no fading. Sharp corners and edges. No tape, staples, or writing. And minimal fold lines or creases. Even small problems can significantly impact value. A tiny tear might drop a certificate's grade from fine to very good, potentially costing you 20% to 30% of its value. If you think you have something valuable, consider getting it professionally graded by PMG, Paper Money Guarantee, or PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service. Yes, it costs money up front, but authentication and grading can actually increase the selling price of valuable certificates. Let's address the elephant in the room. Should you sell your silver certificate dollars, or should you hold on to them? This is where your retirement strategy comes into play. From a pure investment perspective, most common silver certificates have not been great performers. That 1957 $1 certificate you bought for face value in 1957? It's gained maybe 25% to 50% over 67 years. That's less than 1% annual appreciation. Terrible compared to stocks, bonds, or even savings accounts over the long term. However, rare and high-grade certificates have performed much better. The truly scarce pieces have appreciated significantly, sometimes outpacing traditional investments. But here's the reality check. Unless you have rare series, high-grade specimens, or unusual denominations, your silver certificates are not going to fund your retirement. They're interesting collectibles with modest premiums over face value. Here's my practical advice for retirees dealing with silver certificate dollars. First, get them properly identified and valued. Take clear, high-resolution photos and post them on collector forums, or visit a local coin shop for an informal assessment. If you discover you have common certificates worth only small premiums, consider your options carefully. Selling them and investing the proceeds in a diversified retirement portfolio probably makes more financial sense. If you have rare or high-grade certificates worth significant premiums, you've got a more complex decision. These could continue appreciating, but they're also illiquid investments that don't generate income. Consider your overall portfolio allocation. If collectibles represent more than 5% to 10% of your total retirement assets, you might be overweighted in a volatile, illiquid asset class. Don't forget about insurance and storage costs if you decide to keep valuable certificates. Homeowners insurance often has limited coverage for collectibles, and safe deposit boxes cost money annually. Here are 5 actionable tips for dealing with silver certificate dollars in your retirement planning. Tip 1. Never clean or attempt to restore old paper money. Any alteration immediately destroys numismatic value. Handle certificates by the edges only, and store them in acid-free holders if you're keeping them. Tip 2. Get multiple opinions on valuable certificates. Visit different coin shops, check online auction prices for similar items, and consider professional appraisal for potentially valuable pieces. Tip 3. If selling, timing matters. The collectibles market has seasonal patterns. Generally, late fall through early spring sees higher prices as collectors receive year-end bonuses and tax refunds. Tip 4. Document everything for tax purposes. If you inherited these certificates, you'll need to establish cost basis for capital gains calculations. Keep receipts, appraisals, and documentation. Tip 5. Consider the sleep well factor. If worrying about the value, condition, or security of your certificates keeps you up at night, it's probably time to sell them and invest in something more suitable for retirement income. Let me wrap this up with the key points you need to remember about silver certificate dollars. These are fascinating pieces of American monetary history from an era when paper money was backed by actual precious metals. Most silver certificates you're likely to encounter are common issues worth only modest premiums over face value, typically 25% to 50% more than the printed denomination. The rare, early series, or high-grade certificates can be worth significantly more, sometimes hundreds or thousands of dollars. But for most retirees, Silver certificates should be viewed as interesting collectibles rather than serious retirement investments. The money you get from selling common certificates might serve you better in a diversified portfolio generating regular income. If you have certificates, get them properly identified and valued. Make informed decisions based on their actual worth, not sentimental value or hopes of striking it rich. If this video helped you understand silver certificate dollars better, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Rich Dad Retirement for more practical advice about protecting and growing your wealth in retirement. Have you discovered silver certificates in your own collection? Share your experience in the comments below. I read every comment and often use your questions for future videos. And remember, the best investment strategy is the one you understand and can stick with through good times and bad. Until next time, keep building that retirement security.